The car of shame. The coronation has been and gone, but there's still plenty of commentary that is taking place about what went on that day. And across various newspapers, it's clear that, notwithstanding the fact that Harry came and kept a low profile and then went away again, certain newspapers certainly want to put the boot in against them. This, of course, is a consequence of the low level of popularity that Harry and Harry's wife have. That these newspapers, based upon their behaviour of the gruesome twosome, see nothing wrong with sticking it to them. And there's almost a campaign, a vendetta of criticism flowing towards them. On one level, you might think, look, he arrived, he behaved himself, and he went away. Just report on that and leave it be. But the fact is that the behaviour of Harry and his wife, the way that they behave towards the royal family, the way that they've talked about and behaved towards the press, means that the beast that is the press isn't always going to stay silent. And such is the case now. As Camilla Long in the Sunday Times writes, Harry was in the car of shame. Harry's wife played the ultimate power move. Let's find out if that's accurate. Just what was he thinking as he walked down the aisle? Was it, which pillar would Harry's wife think it best to hide behind? Which bit of stone would play best with the early morning breakfast television market in America? And what outfit would impress the late night chat shows? In the event, he was, to use tabloid parlance, uniform humiliated. He wore nothing but an ordinary suit and some medals, along with one of those strange tie stars that looked like a long service award at a Swiss cuckoo clock factory. Arriving in the car of shame, it contained the Duke of York, as well as the Duke of Sussex. The King's second son looked alone, tired and miserable, almost naked in his thin black suit. As he walked down the aisle with the Yorkies, I just thought, oh, Harry, what have you done? There have been 13th fairies at coronations before. Of course, George IV's wife, Mad Caroline of Brunswick, turned up at the ceremony in 1821, barged past the royal herbswoman and tried to crash the event. She went back twice more, and there was a fight about ticketing, so British, whereupon one of the footmen, a boxer, slammed the door in her face while the crowd cried, "Shame, shame," in support of her. She died 3 weeks later. Harry was invited, of course, but not really. What fretful PR contortions and double meanings that invitation must have been freighted with. We were told the traitor of Montecchio was invited by the palace, but then he didn't immediately say he was coming. He took ages to confirm he would attend, but getting him to commit himself to timings, seatings, etc. was, as a palace source suggested, like communicating with Mars. Passive aggression and jockeying for position. It was classic Harry's wife. And of course, this journalist recognises that all of those behaviours are being pulled by Harry's wife because that's what she does. She can't give a straight answer. She wants conditions attached. She wants things done her way. And this toing and froing is all the passive-aggressive behaviour of a mid-range narcissist. The article continues by stating, she pulled the ultimate power move by not being there. It said she was staying home for Archie's birthday, which no sane person would ever do. Who would choose toddler nightmare over a mad carnival of gold sticks and ceremonial handrails? Arguably, it's difficult to tell the difference. I like to think she spent the ceremony talking into Harry's earpiece, surrounded by publicists, agents, strategy dwarfs, and general mood people, to micromanage his presence at the Great Golden Spoon Super Bowl. In a way, ordinarily that would be something that Harry's wife would do. I very much doubt that she got up in the middle of the night to watch it, but there's a possibility that she could have done. But instead, ordinarily, where she could micromanage Harry, she will do so because of the need for control over him. The article continues, don't forget to do your candid reaction in the Windsor suite at Heathrow. In the event, my heart rather went out to the Prince. What a mess of hurt, stupidity, ego and silliness. The shame, the cool barbarity of being made to walk alone down the aisle. Why did he come? Why didn't he go for the more elegant, cool option and just take the ferry onto Le Havre, as the Duke and Duchess of Windsor did in 1953, to avoid Shirley Temple's coronation? Just after 10 a.m. he walked meekly up the middle of the church, last in his party, taking his place between the Queen's cousin Princess Alexandra and Jack Tequila Brooksbank. In football teams, this is like playing a striker for Manchester City and then suddenly finding yourself at Luton Town. Also in the same row, Andrew Parker Bowles, of all people, the only divorced partner apparently admitted. 2 rows in front, Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, and Ben Elliot, who in 2001 memorably dressed up as a Playboy bunny in fishnets and high heels for a society magazine. Imagine being deemed less important than them. This isn't the first time the Yorkies, a brace of chiffon suave partridges, have been drafted in to calm down Prince Harry. I now realise that, as daughters of Sarah, Duchess of York, who's now divorced to Prince Andrew and therefore not present, they actually have a ceremonial role, on occasions like this, as royal wranglers of wayward redheads. They accompanied him up the aisle, settling behind a crowd of old and noble other royals dressed in Mad Queen Mother cosplay. Brooksbank, Eugenie's husband, was the only person he could speak to. A smart move. Brooksbank looked as if he speaks pure toff. Nothing he'll say can be taken, polished up and used later in a Netflix episode, or Spare 2. This was Operation Blend into the background. Sitting down behind Princess Anne, Harry had his face obscured by her feather hat for most of the ceremony. Cameras carefully failed to pan across the left of the church in case we glimpsed any eye rolling. Up ahead, the church filled with the other royals, heads of state, and an extraordinary table at the back with a whole load of medieval cutlery laid out in front of it. It looked as though they were about to do a really expensive operation. Part of me takes Harry's point. This is ridiculous. It means nothing. It does nothing. It is a ceremony unlike any other in normal life. It bears the hallmarks of a wedding. Charles' family seated on the right, Camilla's on the left, but it isn't. If it is a marriage, it's not a marriage of them to each other, it's a marriage to us. It must have felt weird for Harry to watch as Camilla, his wicked stepmother, arrived to volleys of Vivat Regina Camilla, a song sung in my house every day, to watch the woman who usurped his mother, who was never meant to be queen, becoming just that. But not even wanting to, as she might say, must have been maddening. Camilla, for her part, looked terrified, especially when someone asked if she was ready to receive the rod of equity and mercy. Straight in and out is how Harry's trip was described. Almost as soon as the ceremony was over, he dashed out of the front into a waiting car. Immediately we were told he would go straight to the airport. No balcony. And just like that, he vanished. The royal that never was. And of course, what this evidences is, again, the way that Harry is being criticised, that he is being put upon by virtue of the press now deeming it open season against him. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.